Well, welcome everyone. This is Dr. Oben. I've been looking forward to creating, just going live and talking about GLP-1 pills. Let's see, make sure everything is fine. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Good. Well, so today I want to talk about Foundayo and Wegovy pills, this weight loss pills, GLP-1 pills, what you need to do, how, what information you need to know, and if you're considering going on GLP-1 pills, then probably this is the time. Now, first, quick background. I've been very hesitant prescribing GLP-1 pills. They've been open for more than a year now. I've had the question multiple times. Well, there's compounded semaglutide and tirzepatide. Some people are reporting weight loss with it, others not so much. And I've been very hesitant. And the reason is really simple, really, really simple. You know, this is how I often explain it to my patients when they ask me, Doctor, why don't you prescribe the pill? I use the example of insulin, for example. Insulin has been there for many years, but even till today, there is no insulin pill. And there's a reason for that. Now, many of you know, you maybe know someone on insulin. You've heard about insulin. It's very common. It's a normal hormone present in the body. So when someone is diabetic and needs insulin, we're just giving them what the body already makes. However, insulin shots are usually not fun, right? Getting shots every day is not fun. So you can imagine there is pressure there to get insulin. If there is an insulin pill, everyone is going to appreciate that. But till today, not so much. The question is why? And it's a little technical, but very easy to understand. Insulin is a small, tiny protein. They call them peptides, meaning it's small size protein. What that means is it's like your food. So once someone takes that as a pill, what do you think the body sees? The body sees food. It's like food. It's like, okay, she just ate some protein. Let me digest it. So the body is going to break down that protein. It becomes tiny little blocks, tiny little proteins called amino acids. And then the body just absorbs the amino acids. What that means is the protein is gone, destroyed. And that is the main problem. GLP-1s, they are very similar in structure to insulin. So the same problem insulin has, GLP-1s also have it, whether it's semaglutide or it is tirzepatide. What that means is once you take semaglutide by mouth, right, you take it by mouth, it's going to be broken down immediately. And therefore, to get it to work is near to impossible. However, you know, the manufacturers, they are pretty smart, right? Those are very intelligent guys working on these medications. So they have been working on a way of getting this medication to be taken by mouth. And December of last year, Wegovy pill got approved. It's not the usual semaglutide. They did something pretty fancy. They created a tiny little molecule snack. You don't need to bother about in fact, the scientific name is very complex. I can't even remember it, right? It's for sure it's called snack. This little protein helps that molecule, semaglutide, to be absorbed. So it protects it in the stomach. So when the person takes semaglutide, it's not like just taking food, it's like a shield around it. And that little tiny molecule protects semaglutide so that it gets absorbed without being broken down. So when the FDA approved it in December, I didn't just want to jump into it right away. These medications, they can be pricey, right? You don't want to prescribe something that someone takes and is expecting to have results and they are not getting it. So I was going to watch. I usually tell patients, you know what, if you want that, I don't have data. I don't have patients on it. I can't really tell you, like I have patients on the injections. I can tell you this is how much you will lose. But for that, you're on your own. I don't yet have patients on that. The scientific literature says it works, but that's the literature, right? We need to see it in practice. And many patients, some of them have been watching. Some say they have results, others say they don't. However, something happened this month. Lily, I told you these guys are pretty smart, right? What Lily has done is they have tried to solve this problem in a different way. Meaning, rather than giving the body a tiny little protein, what we call peptides, they have made a GLP-1 that is not a peptide, meaning it is not food. Right? So it's a tiny molecule that is not a protein, it's not a peptide, which is similar to something like Tylenol. And that is what is called Foundayo or forglipron. That's the scientific, the generic name. So the FDA approved it. And that is what I've been waiting for. Something like that. Meaning I can confidently, knowing, of course, science, how it works, my resistance has always been, you know what, this thing is peptide. It's going to be hard, even with what Novo Nordisk has done. Let's just watch and see. But when Lilly came out with this new technology, it's a GLP-1 that is not a peptide, meaning you can eat it. You can take it by mouth. The body is not going to break it down. That is groundbreaking. So the landscape has completely changed. When I saw that, I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for. Time is now to begin preparing for the future, which is already here. Meaning GLP-1s will likely be more the tablet form, which is going to be pretty good for a lot of people. Of course, the big question now is results, right? As expected. You will not expect the pills to perform as much as the injections. Right now, tirzepatide injections, that's the best thing we have in the market. It's leading the way. I've talked about retatrutide that'll be coming out probably next year. It's going to be even way better. But this Foundayo is going to change something, meaning that is the direction these companies will be heading. They're going to make it better and better and better. So who knows, in the next 1 to 3 years, we might have a pill form of GLP-1 that does as much, even close to the injections. It's going to change everything, completely everything. Now, the curious thing is Wegovy pill and this Foundayo pill, what are some of the results? They are pretty impressive on paper. On paper, they are. For example, the Wegovy pill with this smart molecule that protects the semaglutide. In about 18 months, those who took them, I usually tell you these GLP-1 medications, they are not a thing or 2, 3 months, right? So in about 18 months, people lost about 15% of their weight. It's pretty impressive. Now, how about Foundayo? Did we see similar results? Yeah. In fact, Foundayo, the advantage is that even faster, it produced faster weight loss than Wegovy because the titration going up was a little bit faster. So it produced similar results, but a little bit faster for the first 6 months and the first, for example, the first 26 weeks. Now, there was quite some impressive results, right up to about 11%. So that is very impressive. When I saw that, I knew something had changed. So good news, of course, we're just beginning the journey. and it's now available. So how can you get that? Of course, you can get it from your primary doctor, right? It's a medication. So get it from a doctor's office, get it from maybe a provider, your nurse practitioner's office. Don't buy it online from a drugstore like you purchase something on from Amazon, right? That's a medication. It needs to be properly followed. So the easiest way would be to get it from your doctor's office. Of course, we are a weight loss clinic. What you get with us is weight loss focused and board certified in weight loss. So our clinic really focuses on weight loss. That's what you probably will not get from your primary care doctor, right? We focus on guiding you every single step of the way, titrating your medication, showing you about the phases of changes to expect and all of that. So if you're interested, this is something you want to get on, you've been looking to get on GLP-1 and you hate those injections, which I think they are pretty small. They're very, really small. But this is your time, right? You can get started on the pill. It is now available. You can get started like today, even today. Call our office if this is something you're interested in. We will definitely be more than happy to get you started on. Now, the question is, let me show you something here. I usually keep this. This is a sample, right? I've not used it on anybody. Somebody asked me, but I hate injections. It hurts. The truth is, these injections, whether you get the vial form and then you use this, or the smart, the quick pen, or you use the the fancy pens, right? Those injections are pretty tiny. And apparently, I even prefer these ones now because they seem to hurt less than the fancy pens. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So if you want, the most reliable, consistent is going to be the injections. Absolutely. They give you the results a little bit faster, right? But what do I see? People might be on the injections, get to their goal, and for maintenance, the pills will be a fantastic choice. Right. So we don't know yet. We're going to find out, but I'm just very, very excited when I read the literature. This is great. This is intelligence, right? I knew that these guys, they are really, really smart. I knew they were going to come up with something because the need is there. There are thousands of people who want to get on this medication, but they just do not like injections, right? Now the opportunity is there. So yeah, kudos to Wegovy team and kudos to, of course, the Foundayo team, right? Smart guys, hard work, helping us help people who are looking to lose weight. So looking forward to talking with you. If you have any questions, just put them down in the comments, reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to help you. Bye.